Watch this story unfold. You call me goddess, that's good I suppose. But even goddess might have holes in her clothes. We're the angels of delusion. Wings spread out of broken plans. Fall in love with the illusion. We sing in ecstasy, this is the show of the century.
Nangong Yu is an ether anomaly stunner who specializes in kinda everything. Quick stunts, high anomaly application, she provides a stun damage bonus and normal damage bonus, polarity disorders and blooms, and also increases the anomaly build-up rate during stun. To keep it short, Nangong Yu is incredibly versatile, disgustingly broken beyond imagination to the point where Bernice is now usable against 40% fire-resistant bosses, and also super simple to play despite her core skill and additional ability, looking like their intern just wrote their master thesis on her. Basically, she is Dialin, but for anomaly. I cannot remember the last time we had such an honestly rather simple kit, so let's make this quick, simple and efficient. Her normal basic attacks do what basics are supposed to do, and we will rarely use them. Her chain attack, assist, follow-up, quick assist, dash attack, dodge counter, and special will either all be used frequently and all do exactly what we would expect them to do, which is to deal damage and inflict daze, or they stay unused and because of that we will skip all of them. Instead, let's first cover her two unique resources, downbeats and dance prowess. As per usual, they are indicated right below her HP bar and she can hold a maximum of 100 points. She passively accumulates 3.8 downbeats per second, gains 12 points each time an anomaly is triggered, but with a cooldown of 6 seconds, and begins combat with 30 points. Secondly, she can hold up to 2 stacks of dance prowess, gaining 2 stacks each time an enemy becomes stunned, lasting for 15 seconds. Dance prowess are indicated next to her downbeats by these 2 glowing points. We will get back to those in a bit. Holding down her basic attack will have Nangong Yu execute a charged attack, and when releasing the button at the right time, the skill's daze dealt will be increased by 20%. This perfect release is called precise charging. She can perform this charged attack up to 2 additional times, with the second and third cast each requiring and consuming 50 downbeats. And the dash of the first charged attack can also block enemy attacks, automatically triggering precise charging. If used directly after her EX special ultimate or chain attack, and if she has at least 50 downbeats, she will skip her charged basic 1 and directly connect into either her charged basic 2 or 3. If performed this way, it will also automatically trigger precise charging. Because of that, as well as her core, more about that later, we basically always want to use her EX special or ultimate before her CBA 2 or 3, leaving us with a simple combo of EX special into charged basic 2 and 3. Her CBA 3 has a very long animation, so we want to swap cancel it. Lastly, her EX ultimate and chain will also not interrupt the combo count of her charged basic attack. Nangong Yu's EX special deals damage and inflicts a good chunk of daze and anomaly as expected at the low cost of 40 energy. Since we can guarantee precise charging by using her charged basic attack right after her EX special, we want to do so as explained before. Nangong Yu's ultimate deals damage, inflicts a very hefty chunk of daze, and also opens up Ether Veil Delusion Reprise for 30 seconds. This is exactly the same Ether Veil as Sunna and Aria have, so there is not much more to say about it. First up, Nangong Yu passively gains 120 anomaly proficiency, and for every 1 point of initial anomaly mastery exceeding 110, she also gains 1 flat combat impact. While an enemy is stunned, whenever they suffer an attribute anomaly or are hit by a bloom or disorder, they gain 1 stack of vibrato. If the enemy recovers from stun or when vibrato reaches 4 stacks, all stacks are removed and Nangong Yu will trigger a bloom. This bloom has a unique ratio multiplier to it similar to Aria, equal to 25% of each stack of Vibrato consumed upon trigger, meaning that at 4 full stacks, this bloom will deal double damage. Once Vibrato has been cleared and a bloom triggered, this effect cannot occur again during the same stun window. Lastly, whenever Nanggong Yu's charge basic attack or EX special hit an enemy, she gains a 35% anomaly build-up increase, a 20% days build-up increase, and the entire team gains a 25% damage bonus lasting for 30 seconds. Her additional ability requires either an Angels of Delusion member or another anomaly agent. When that condition is met and when any team member's attack hits a stunned enemy, the anomaly build-up rate of that attack is increased by 30% with an additional 30% for chain attacks. Furthermore, you will obtain 2 stacks of dance prowess whenever an enemy becomes stunned, lasting for 15 seconds. We have already talked about these stacks in the beginning of the kit overview. If her EX specials, charged basic attacks, or quick assists heavy hits a stunned enemy that is also affected by any anomaly, she will consume 1 stack to trigger a 20% polarity disorder on all enemies that meet this condition and then trigger a backwards quick assist to the previous character. If Nanggong Yu is paired with Aria, yes, quite literally that one specific character, Aria's Stomp's attack can consume Nanggong Yu's dance prowess stacks and hence trigger the polarity disorder as well. Basically, this entire thing simply happens automatically when Yu is paired with Aria. Additionally, if Nanggong Yu's ultimate or level 3 charge attack hit an enemy, their stun damage multiplier will be increased by 30% and their stun duration is extended by 3 seconds. This can only occur once per stun state, does not stack with similar effects, and also is removed when the enemy recovers from stun. Lastly, whenever an enemy becomes stunned, her next EX special will be free to cast at the cost of 0 energy for 15 seconds and at most once per 15 seconds, and if Yu has any stacks of dance prowess upon switch-in, she will immediately and automatically cast her level 1 charge basic attack with a guarantee to trigger precise charging. Frankly, her additional ability as well as her core have a lot of words to tell you a lot of things that basically all will happen automatically. Let's end the kit overview with her skill priority. Most of her days comes from her EX special, basic attacks and ultimate. Because of that, we focus first and foremost on her core, then her EX special, basics and chain, followed by her assist and lastly dodge. Honestly, all parts of her kit are somewhat important for her, so she is not really a cheap investment and I would recommend to level all of her skills. The importance of her assist and more so her dodge will vary widely depending on the matchup and also how you play. Nanggong Yu's gameplay consists of pressing EX ultimate and hold basic, so because pressing and holding a single button is not really a combo, let's look at some gameplay instead. I begin combat on Nanggong Yu and her EX special. This will grant the 25% damage bonus from her core to the team right off the bat, activate her own Phaethon's Melody and also on Aria if we run it. Then I instantly swap cancel it into Aria's EX special for more anomaly application and also Phaethon's AP buff if we run it as well, then proceed with her basics. This will trigger corruption and stagger the boss just in time before he enters the control skill phase. I then use Aria's special for an additional fandom power, which will become important a little bit later on, and swap cancel one stomp attack into Nanggong. I use her charged basic 1 for some additional days and to refresh her core, then switch to Sunna for 1 basic attack and a full health EX special to buff the team and also apply Moonlight Lullaby. I swap cancel the EX just in time to Yu to start off the control skill phase on her. This allows for 3 parries on Aria for the decibels and 2 on Nanggong Yu for additional days. I use Aria's assist follow-up and 1 basic attack for a little bit more decibels and energy, then proceed to switch to Yu into 3 charged basic attacks and again swap cancel her CBA 3 to Aria. I use Aria's EX special upon entry and proceed with 4 stomp attacks. I parry on Yu and use her EX special right before the parry to re-trigger Phaethon's on Aria and reapply her buff, then parry on Sunna and end on Aria, where I immediately use her ultimate and fully skip her assist follow-up. This will then trigger the stun window. I hold basic pressed during her ultimate, as it will allow Aria to enter her stomp attack right before the ultimate's heavy hit hits, saving us a little bit of time. I cancel the chain, proceed to stomp 6 times, then switch to Nangong Yu, use her EX special for some free damage and anomaly, then proceed to Sunna and use her health EX special for the Ether Veil and hence Phantom Power on Aria, as well as reapplying Moonlight Lullaby. I swap cancel the health EX special into Aria's EX special and 3 stomp attacks. I now trigger the stun window with a Sunna special as it is pretty fast, cancel the chain and proceed to stomp for an additional 5 times. I then end the stun window on another EX special on Aria into the last stomp attack. I then switch to Sunna to cast her first EX special for some additional days, a Moonlight Lullaby and Faith's Refresh, then instantly move forwards to Nangong Yu. I use her EX special to refresh her buffs, then use her ultimate for some massive days. I switch back to Sunna to cast her second EX special, switch to Aria to use her EX special and parry on Nangong Yu. I use her EX special to refresh Faith's on Aria before I proceed with her charge basic 2 and 3. I switch to Aria and then begin to stomp. Most people skip right here, so hi, welcome! I hope you have a great day and my calculations will help you out. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Statistically, there is a good chance you are not yet subscribed. Thank you, I love you. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is her signature is really good. The bad news is her signature is really good. In fact, maybe slightly too good. Because Yu's signature provides up to 150 anomaly proficiency, as well as 30% anomaly mastery to herself and a 30% damage bonus to the entire team. Without her signature, not only her own damage, but the entire team's damage falls off a cliff. In addition, since her anomaly application will suffer as well without her signature, she will also gain less downbeats from her core, which can lead to fewer charged basic attacks and hence even less damage, but more importantly also less days. This will highly depend on the matchup and how you play, however. While other options exist in terms of days due to Nangong Yu's high damage contribution being 15 to 20% to the team, losing nearly half of your damage while basically maintaining the same amount of days is not really a great trade-off. Please keep in mind that Aria will also trigger blooms of Nangong's corruptions, and without proper play, losing out on the 150 anomaly proficiency her signature provides, this will also significantly impact Aria's damage. This is also true for other Bloom and also Anomaly users such as Bernice, Grace, Yanagi or Alice, Jane and Piper, although in the case of the latter 4 I suppose it is more about the disorders, which are just not really gonna deal that much damage. There really is not much more to say. Trigger was the first stunner that really wanted her W engine, but at least she was functional without it. Nangong loses a lot of value by not having her signature, with the exception of Miyabi, more on that in the team section. Outside her signature, her next best option is Hellfire Gears, which can perform better than shown here by adjusting how you play, allowing for 2 stacks on average, at least in terms of days. Please also keep in mind that you will join both Sunna during her EX and Aria during her stomps on field, which means she cannot profit of the energy regeneration that HFG provides during that time. Jufufu's signature is the most balanced option in terms of days versus damage. If your only goal is hitting 20,000 points in Deadly Assault, Fossil will as per usual be your best choice, at least in terms of days. Lastly, Blazing Laurel has the potential at least to be her best, most consistent days option, but this will require a parry before every action essentially, and not every fight allows for this, so expect this weapon to actually perform worse than shown here. Nangong Yu's set choices are interesting. There is frankly no real best in slot set for her, and her best choice will depend on a variety of factors and circumstances. A 4-piece Faith's Melody, however, will always be a good generic choice and the one I will also always recommend. A 4-piece Freedom Blues allows for 2 to 3 additional corruptions per fight, and with each anomaly trigger providing decibels, this can lead to an additional or at least an earlier ultimate. The additional corruptions can also grant you additional downbeats, which can impact how quickly and when you can use your charged basic attacks. This set is very much a niche set, and I would not recommend it for most people, as you give up a significant amount of personal damage on her by doing so. However, if you can make good use of the additional corruptions, this set can be very good, for example in Miyabi teams, due to being able to provide more disorders. I would not recommend a 4-piece Shockstar Disco as it will most of the time not guarantee an additional stun window, making the additional days wasted while giving up 20% of her damage. A 2-piece Freedom Blues, Chaos Jazz or Shining Aria give her the highest damage, whereas a 2-piece Swing Jazz or Moonlight Lullaby provide just enough energy to allow for an additional EX special, which can help to maintain Phaethon's 4-piece effect, but more importantly can provide additional days in exchange for some damage. My personal recommendation for most players would be to simply stick to a 4-piece Phaethon's Melody paired with a 2-piece Freedom Blues, Shining Aria or honestly anything else that gives her damage. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on your viewpoint, Nanggong Yu is pretty straightforward to build in terms of main stats. Anomaly Proficiency in slot 4, Ether Damage Pen Ratio or Attack Percent in slot 5, and Anomaly Mastery in slot 6. Since she gains flat combat impact from her Anomaly Mastery due to her core, the scaling is simply better than running impact in slot 6, and it also provides more damage and decibels due to additional Anomaly procs, and because of that, Anomaly Mastery in slot 6 is non-negotiable. Ether damage or attack percent in slot 5 are her best choices, and basically even up and pen ratio is fine but worse versus the new and previous 2 bosses due to their defense being half of the default. As for her substats, focus on Anomaly Proficiency and attack first and foremost, then flat pen and flat attack. Again, due to the recent bosses having half defense, flat pen is often a better choice than flat attack rather than being about equal. Nanggong Yu's Mindscape are very good. Her M1 provides an 18% all-attribute res threat to the entire team and allows her to open up with a full charged basic attack, which can lead to faster stuns. Her M1 is also better for the team than for herself, as we will see in a bit, and also becomes much better versus bosses that are not of the same element as your primary carry. Her M2 makes her Blooms deal more damage, further increases her stun damage multiplier by an additional 30%, and whenever a chain attack hits a stunned enemy that is affected by an anomaly, it will trigger an additional 25% polarity disorder. Her M2 is flat out just very good, and that is reflected in Aria's damage as well. Her M3 and M5 provide additional days, and with it being surprisingly hard to get a full 4 stun windows versus some matchups, such as the new 2.7 boss, this can make it significantly easier to do so. Her M4 gives her more AP and anomaly applications, which basically means more damage, it exists. Her M6 is honestly great. The 50% increased days build-up allows for an additional stun window, and the additional out-of-stun blooms significantly raise her personal damage. It should also be mentioned, however, that because she stuns now much quicker, you will also get less value from these out-of-stun blooms since, well, you spend less time out-of-stun now. This means that while this does look insane when looking at her own personal damage, it is much less impactful for the team, albeit the actual value you gain from this will depend on how you play, as getting an additional stun window can raise this value even further. Oh my god, Nanggong has so many teams, and she is best in slot in basically all of them. It should be to nobody's surprise that Nanggong Yu is made for the Angels team. There really is not much more to say. It is a very fun team to play, albeit it is pretty telegraphed and most rotations are somewhat set in stone. Nanggong Yu is also likely to be Miyabi's new best in slot, especially in matchups where the boss cannot be frozen. The team plays super fluidly and can score very high with very little effort and difficulty. As a side note here, because Miyabi mainly cares about how many stuns she gets, as well as how many disorders you can provide to her, Nanggong's signature is much less important for this team specifically. Also, run 4-piece Freedom Blues if you are able to use that. Yu works nicely alongside Yanagi as well, and even though Yanagi does lose her additional ability here, Yuzua's build-up makes up for it, so it does not really matter. My biggest gripe with this team would probably be that Yu stuns just slightly too quickly, making it hard for Yanagi to generate enough energy to spend during the stun window. Grace profits of Nanggong Yu just as much as every other anomaly agent. Just as with Yanagi, however, Grace would lose her additional ability without another electric agent in the team, but while Yanagi does not care too much about her additional ability, Grace does. Hence we are looking at Trigger or Rina, and the team can perform just fine. Make sure to build your trigger for anomaly proficiency instead of crit rate when playing this team, as Yu is already stunning fast enough. Oh my god. My girl Bernice is back, and god does this team feel good to play. Personal bias aside, this team is Burnice's best team by a large mile, and Nangong plays beautifully into the new quick swap heavy playstyle of Bernice. Due to Bernice's high anomaly application on her chain attack, in fact she has the highest one in the game, and Nangong Yu boosting this even further, Bernice can easily sustain burn even without her additional ability and against fire-resistant bosses. Alice will do very well with Nangong Yu as well, and I really don't have much more to say here. It is her new best in slot, just like for everyone else. Jane will lose her additional ability without another anomaly agent, and we need Yuzua to make up for it. Yeah, it is her best in slot as well, and due to the now rather frequent access to stun windows and hence chain attacks, Jane has no problems whatsoever being inside her passion state at all times. Piper, same thing honestly. I tried playing double anomaly with Vivian, but honestly Yuzua is just too important here. Vivian Piper you will work, but I would much rather recommend Yuzua as the results are just, well, better. As for Vivian, that team exists too, and it is very fun to play, being able to proc a lot of her blooms due to Nangong Yu's low energy cost, as well as Sunna being able to cast her EX special twice. With the easy access to quick assists from Sunna as well as the frequent stuns and hence chains from Yu, Vivian has also no problem sustaining her stacks here, it is honestly more difficult to spend them. And last but not least, Nangong Yu and Sunna can also work great as an easier to play alternative to Qingyi Nicole for Su Yuan. I ain't a great ZZZ player, and I am also not sure if Nangong Sunna will be better than Qingyi Nicole, but it is much easier to manage, especially in terms of corruption uptime. Generally, Nangong Yu is effectively a replacement for a second anomaly character in every single anomaly team. That is all there is to say about her, and if you would like to elevate your insert favorite anomaly team here to new heights, Nangong Yu is probably a character you should not skip. Pros and cons. Nangong Yu is frankly just flat out broken. She is the new best in slot for basically all anomaly teams, very simple but also extremely fun to play, brings near infinite iframes to the table with an extremely high days application, and also offers multiple build paths, albeit a 4-piece Phaeton's Melody is still her best generic choice. On the other hand, she really wants her signature weapon, and outside of Miyabi teams will feel horrible without it. Additionally, her skill investment is honestly rather expensive. Lastly, due to Sunna's existence however, she can also free up Yuzua for his second anomaly team, albeit Yuzua is for many teams still the preferred choice. I thought it would also be appropriate to give you an update on how Nangong Yu impacts Aria. Frankly, none of her weapons really changed, but she now prefers attack percent over ether damage in slot 5. Not by that much that is, and the difference is also less than 1 substat, so whatever. As for Distrise and Shining Aria, well, it is mathematically not possible for Shining Aria to ever be able to be better than Phaeton's Melody. Both are providing effectively the exact same stats, except Aria is only during stun, whereas Phaeton's is always, and even with Nangong Yu on the team, you will have downtime where you will stomp with Aria outside of the stun window. This means if you are looking to min-max your Aria, Phaeton's Melody is still her best choice. However, as expected, the gap between a 4-piece Shining Aria and Phaeton's Melody closed quite a bit, and we are now looking at an approximately 1 to 2 substats to make up for the difference. At this point, choose whatever has better substats, and because Shining Aria is much more brain dead than Phaeton's Melody is, Shining Aria might be better for you regardless if you prefer to simply smash buttons and not think, and that is totally valid. Let's make this quick. I found Impact in slot 6, paired with a 2-piece Shockstar Disco or King of the Summit, to still be her best layout, even with Nangong Yu on the team. While it matters less for some matchups, such as Marionettes, it still helps quite a bit versus Vesper and also the new 2.7 boss. As a side note, because Sunna is not gonna proc any assault, or at most 1 versus the new 2.7 boss, building her for crit rate and crit damage rather than anomaly proficiency is preferable in this case specifically. Nangong Yu is, to be honest, just in a very unhealthy state and straight up way too good. She is best in slot in all anomaly teams by a large margin and can even find application outside of those teams, for example in Su Yuan teams being able to provide a consistent ether application for chaotic metal, while also providing ether veil for deadly assault or shield defense buffs that require it. She is for anomaly teams what Dialan is for attack and rupture teams, and playing anomaly again without her does honestly feel kind of bad. Hence, should you pull Nangong Yu? Absolutely yes, and while I'm always on the side of waifu over meta, skipping Nangong Yu is probably not a good idea. There is not really much else to say, she is just that strong. If you can, you know, I would highly recommend pulling her. Honestly, I think she is too strong and I'm not big of a fan of her being this good, but I mean I can't change it either, so yeah. With that, we are at the end of the video. Before I leave you with the showcase, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment on whether or not you are pulling for Nangong Yu and also what you think about our MV, and join the Discord. A special thanks to all of my Patreon and YouTube members who make this content possible. I appreciate all of you, thank you so much for your support and wish you a great day. Enjoy the showcase. Peace!
Watch this story unfold. We're the angels of delusion. Wings spread out of broken plans. Fall in love with the illusion. We're singing ecstasy. This is the show of the century. Hidden time, fading sweat. Every dream still on. I can